Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Al Getler here. Welcome to the show. Excited to be here. Have an exciting guest. It's kind of Great Britain week. You're going to find out in a minute why. I've got a brilliant young guest joining me today. He is joining us from, we're going to find out where in Great Britain he's joining us from in a few moments. But pleasure to be here. I looked out the window just as I started hitting live, and the snow and the rain is starting here in northern Vermont. I am up towards the Canadian border. That's not unusual for us. Having a 50-degree day like we did December the 1st, that's unusual for us. So that's a pretty big deal. So this week so far, we've had a great week. We talked Monday about video. If you haven't seen that episode with Greg Rollett, please go back and watch that. I think Rollett or Rollett, I got that right. But anyway, ambitious video. Great episode from with Greg as our guest. Yesterday, an amazing video of an operation, and the surgeon that did the operation and the patient being able to address things like Parkinson's, and when people have uncontrollable shaking, this operation was covered. We talked to both the surgeon and the patient, so go back and watch that one. Today, we have a guest that I am very excited to have. I have known this young man for about a year, maybe more now. He's got an amazing career that's happening. I want to share with you a little bit of a sizzle reel, we'll call it, and stand by. That's going to show up on your screen in 1 second. Here we go. We're going to try that again, this time with sound for you guys so you can hear it. And we'll go ahead and add the audio. Here we go. Once again, my guest coming up here right now.
What are you doing?
As advertised, it's Max. Let me have him join us now from Great Britain. Max Fulham. Hi, Max.
Hello, Al. Hello. Lovely to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Well, so good to have you, my man. Good to see you. Tell us exactly where you are in England.
I am in a town called Farnham, which is in Surrey, the county of Surrey. So I'm about an hour outside London. That's the main point people know.
Okay.
I'm about an hour outside London.
So is that, with my complete lack of understanding, that's the suburbs, is it?
Yeah.
Would I commute to London from your town if I had a job?
People do commute. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That gives us a better idea. So Max, you have had really a great couple of years going on here, things happening, fun stuff happening, and then COVID hit. So we're going to come back around and talk about that in a bit. Before we do, I want to remind people that are viewing us, give live stream permission to show your name and your profile image. We've got some nice folks here that are joining us. However, we can't see who you are. So go ahead and click that link. Find it in the preview of this live stream session, and give them permission to show your profile, and then you can join us in the conversation that way. And we'll look forward to getting your comments. So Max, take us back right before COVID hit. Things were happening. What was going on?
Things were happening. Yeah. There was lots going on. I was doing lots of gigs at the start of this year, just finished sort of Christmas shows, and then had things like comedy clubs, which I love doing. I love playing to an adult audience like that. It's wonderful, even though I predominantly work to family audiences, which I also love. That feeling of entertaining everyone in the room, that's wonderful. So I was doing comedy clubs, some holiday parks, which for stateside, they're sort of resorts, holiday resorts, essentially. Right. Yes. And then one of my last big things before the coronavirus was the Blackpool Magic Convention. So the largest magic convention in the world. And ludicrous. I was booked. I'm a ventriloquist. Don't even do any magic. But it's, of course, an allied art, a celebration of variety.
No doubt about it. Yeah.
And so to perform at such a prestigious event with 4,000 magicians from all around the world, that was amazing. To do my own 45-minute show in one of the smaller sort of fringe venues one night, and then to have a spot on the gala show in the Blackpool Opera House, which is the massive stage you could see on the show reel there. It was this is the biggest place I've ever played. It was huge.
And no pressure, right? Being in front of 4,000 other performers, right?
Oh, it's the scariest show I've ever done. Terrifying.
Yeah, it's very, very scary. So, I want to jump into the business. We have a LinkedIn audience here today, and I always like to jump into the business side of things. You had just signed, it was probably last year with new management. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I signed with my manager, my first manager, properly, officially. It would have been at some point last year, I think, if not the year before. Yeah. But we'd known each other a few years, so that's why there's sort of confusion as to when the official handshake was. I think the official handshake was probably around summer 2018, actually. So because we met in September time 2017.
Right.
And we met on a variety show. She was comparing. She's a performer. She's a comedian and impressionist that has been for many years. She knows the business inside out and has so many great connections.
So is she bridging over to management now from performing? Is that the story? Okay.
Yeah. So now she is my manager, and she is absolutely wonderful at what she does. Hilary O'Neill Management. I'm so lucky to have someone championing me so personally like that. It's not just someone filling my diary. It's much more. It's much more personal than that. We regularly meet to go through the show. We regularly meet and because she's got a comedic brain, we do also bounce off each other in a writing scenario as well, which is great.
So for those of us that are not deep into show business, tell everybody what that means to have a manager. It's it is a big step. So explain to everybody what management means.
It's huge, because before that I did, and to a certain extent I still do, this is my hobby. What I do is my hobby, making people laugh and mucking around with puppets. It's my hobby. And so having a manager makes it all very real. And I now, do huge shows, which is amazing. So for me, a management gave me a sort of feeling of, this is my actual job. This is, I'm able to do this for a living now, which was an amazing step. So she, rather than an agent who will just sort of fill a diary, book shows in, we really worked together in actually developing my career. So pushing me further on. Where can we go next? What can we do? Who can we contact? Who do we know? Right. It's
so very much more personal. See the scale of your bookings start going up. Someone who's spending their not their full-time effort, but a good hunk of effort, a lot of contact, Max's career taking off. And, I will say, the sizzle reel showed a bit of it that we just showed, but I've actually, I've seen you perform live. You've done tons with video. You're an extremely funny and creative guy. And so you take this extremely funny and creative guy and you lock him in a box like so many other creative, funny people who with COVID-19, the pandemic, you're not performing. You've done some fun stuff along the way. So can we show something to get our audience just a bit more familiar with who you are and share what we all are going through right now, Zoom. And so let me share this little video with everybody and give them an idea of your creativity and what you've been up to during what I call your COVID vacation. So let me take us off the screen and did we have audio there, Max?
I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, we did not. We did not. We're going to give that one more shot with audio, and we'll come back to that in a second. So, what I'm about to show, this is something you did, excuse me, to kind of occupy your time. How would you state that?
Yeah, it was again with my manager. We'd obviously, of course, noticed the use of Zoom. It was in our daily lives. Zoom quizzes, Zoom parties, Zoom socializing, Zoom everything, and it was grating on us as it was with everyone. And so we thought we should do a Zoom with the puppets. So I started doing one when we were deep in lockdown, and I've taught myself how to edit basically over this lockdown. It's been a massive learning curve. The skill set. Oh, Al, I can't hear you now.
Yeah, so you've added another layer of skill through all this.
Enormously so. I didn't think I'd be learning so much this year. I've added, yeah.
Let's give it another crack. We'll show everybody what you did here, okay? All right, here we go.
Right, let's try this again then. Fab. Okay, let's see.
Ta-da!
Gordon, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I'm glad you've been able to lock.
Oh, I've got an idea for the show.
Oh,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Basically, I was thinking you could put a mask on and say how easy it is to do ventriloquism because they can't see your lips.
oh, right. Right. Yeah. No, funny. That's
really
funny.
Good.
Good idea. I have seen it quite a lot on social media though, as like a meme, and I've been sent it quite a lot. People are sending it to ventriloquists quite a lot.
It's funny though.
Yeah. Oh, no, good idea. Grandad's just joined. Let's have a look and see.
Is he on mute?
He's on mute again.
He has no idea.
Yeah, but I was trying to teach him how to use it. Grandad, you're on mute. He said he had something important to tell us as well.
Oh, right.
Oh, Auntie's joined.
Hello there, darlings. Can you hear me all right? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, goody. I've got an idea for your little show.
Oh, have you?
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
You could put a little mask on your face and then say, "Oh, it's easy. It's easy."
Yes, it's something similar.
Yeah.
Jeez, they can't see
Gordon
your
was
lips.
actually just saying something similar. Yeah. Something. Yeah. Grandad, you're on mute.
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Hope he's all right. He said he had something to say.
Hey.
Grandad, you're on. Oh, we can hear you, Grandad. We can hear you again, Grandad. You're fine. We can. What did you have to say?
Well, I just wanted to say I come up with a really funny idea. You could wear a mask and it would be really easy to do ventriloquism.
No, fantastic. Wonderful.
Yeah,
Great. That'll go down really well.
Yeah,
Yeah, original.
Isn't it?
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. Brilliant. Love it.
Right.
Fab. All right.
Yeah,
See
great.
you soon.
Comedy.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
You developed a new skill and you put this video together. Time-wise, the whole thing. I mean, for folks that don't really even understand video, we're kind of delving into a couple of places here. You had a video. You had to film the scenes, obviously separate. Bring it all together. I mean, did you know any of this before you jumped into it?
Oh, I didn't have a clue. The first Zoom call I edited together, it was a nightmare because it wasn't just the editing, it was the actual logistics of filming this thing was also a nightmare as well, because I had to film my thing and use that as a guide. Oh, thank you. And use that as a guide going through, and then somehow have that in my ears whilst I was puppeteering, filling in the gaps and making it all work together. It was really difficult. And then working out how to make all the boxes move and make it look like a Zoom call. It took many hours, but I think it was worth it.
Yeah, I agree. And so does Sherry. That it's great work. And I would agree with it as well. Very, very funny. You did a few follow-ups. If you search Max on YouTube, Max Fulham, you'll see more of his efforts there. Just really creative stuff. So, we just saw your characters, and I wonder, may I impose, is Grandad around by chance?
He is around. I'll just, of course, he's in the office with me.
Maybe you should wake him up. Yeah, while
that's the natural thing, isn't it? Keep your Granddad in the office.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Oh, here we are.
Granddad.
Get me on the shot. All right. Hello.
Yeah,
Hello, Al. You all right?
Oh, I'm well, Granddad. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Was he trying to do a British accent there? I don't know what he I don't know what he was trying to do there.
Well, Granddad, let me ask you.
It's not.
Granddad,
Yeah.
let me ask you. So during the pandemic, what have you been doing to occupy your time? I'm assuming some of your age probably has to quarantine quite a bit.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when he takes me out of the box, when he's kind enough to get me out of the box, then we have a lovely time. But yeah, I am quite old, so I have to be very careful. But it's fine because we're in a COVID safe guggle. What? A guggle. We're guggling. We're bubbling. We're bubbling. Yeah, we're bubbling together. We're bubbling. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Good. So, Granddad, is there a Mrs. Granddad? I really don't know.
That's called a grandma, Al.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Famously, no. Unfortunately, not anymore.
No, I understand. So, Granddad, I have to ask you then: were you playing the field at all before the pandemic? Just wondering.
Oh my goodness! Every opportunity I got, it was. It was getting to be a problem, really, and he hasn't given up. COVID hasn't stopped him at all. No.
You must be careful. You must be.
The only thing stopping me from going on the dating apps is that sponge fingers don't work on touch screen, so I can't swipe right. No.
Makes total sense, Granddad. Makes total sense. Well, I don't want you to steal the limelight completely from Max. So, is there anything else you want to tell us before you go?
Oh my God! Well, just don't let your grandchildren treat you like he treats me. He puts me in a box. All right, it's fine.
Terrible. There he goes.
See ya. Bye.
Bye, Granddad. Yeah. Granddad, always up to something, Max. So, Max,
always.
Your characters, you've got some really distinct characters. We saw them just now in the video. In fact, I want to tell you, Ken McGrath put this up there before. He's trying to get your YouTube videos out there to some of the influential people, but because of Monkey, which, of course is funny. I have a monkey in my act as well, too. We all seem to like monkeys. Of course, Jay Johnson being the famous of all
old men.
Yeah, old men, right? But your characterization, what's your inspiration? Where do you come up with your characters? The comedy writing, kind of, again, from the show business perspective for people who are lay people in the audience. There are some ventriloquists in the audience today just getting started. How do you do it all, Max?
Well, that is exactly the right question, though. How do you do it all? Because ventriloquism breaks down into so many different tasks. It is the ultimate multitasking. It's stand-up comedy. It's the act of writing comedy. It's puppeteering, as well as just not moving your lips. It's acting as well. I have to act like I don't know what he's going to say, and also that I haven't heard it before. If we're doing a routine, sometimes he does genuinely make me laugh though with ad libs, which is fun. But in terms
of, if I can jump in there for a second too, you have worked incredibly at your reactions. Before, when my sound wasn't on, you immediately reacted with an expression. And it just makes it fun. It's what makes you a funny guy. But where did you learn that part of it as well? I mean, there's a lot that goes into who Max Fulham is. You have almost a pantomime-esque type of style on stage and on camera. So kind of roll that into all this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I've always pulled stupid faces. It's just very silly is what it is. I've made myself laugh now. It's just very silly. I have a love of silliness. Some of my comic heroes are the silliest people. Monty Python would be a reference that crosses over, but also people like Harry Hill, who maybe aren't as well known in the States, and Reeves and Mortimer, who are far more absurd. I do love the silliness. I'm as well as loving setup punchline. I love slightly weirder stuff as well. So I think it sort of all mingles in to form something quite unique, where I'm not just a straight man. I can occasionally have my sort of moments of silliness as well within the act, which is quite nice. But bringing that back to character development, although I'm using, as we were saying, sort of fairly common animals and figures, like a granddad is a fairly common occurrence in a ventriloquist act. A monkey is a fairly common animal in a ventriloquist act. They become my own because I'm all about the puppets. It started with a love of puppets, so it is about the movement. I love how puppets sort of feel on my hand. It's how I can get them to move. It's different movements I enjoy doing with them. And it's that it comes from the movement for me, and it informs their character. So the fact that Grandad has his arm rods on and he can
Right.
gesture, he can be very direct with people. It's the quality
Right.
of that movement. Whereas the monkey, I've only recently, actually, a recent addition, which is again quite niche for the non-vents, but I've used some thread which matches his fur color to loop it round his ears, so that
Right.
his hands have a bit of a
Correct,
monkeyish bounce to them, which
Yeah.
is a lovely little concept we have in the vent world.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And well, you're talking about monkey like he's not in the room. And while some other events have monkeys, yours is very unique. So if monkey's available to join us, I would
Yes,
love.
indeed. He's down here as with an old man. Yeah, he's with an old man.
You're right.
There you are. Hello, monkey.
You're right. This
How
is
are
Gordon.
you?
For those who don't know, I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, and we no, we yes,
Wait a
we,
minute. Proper
we
name again? Proper name again?
Gordon is his name.
Gordon. Proper name. I'm sorry, Gordon. Gordon. I called you monkey. Gordon.
Don't worry
Gordon,
about it.
Gordon, your face is familiar. Have I not seen you on the side of a bus somewhere?
Side of the bus. Well, you might have last year.
Well, yes, that's
Yeah.
very good, Al. I like what you
Yeah.
did there. Nice segue. You have to think about that. Yeah, I did for a moment, but yes, we for pantomime, which is a very British traditional show, Christmas show, all sorts of madness, silliness, slapstick, men dressed as women, women dressed as men. It's a very traditional show and a very popular show, and I do them most Christmases in whichever theatre I am around the country. Last year I was in Bromley in Kent,
And yeah, the poster, we got on the poster. My face was on the poster.
yeah, it was Gordon's face was on the poster, and so was mine.
And to advertise the show, they put it on a bus. So one of those London red buses was driving around with our faces on it.
Yeah, it was
Gordon,
it was surreal.
Yeah, that's incredible. So let me just, you want a little quickly. A pantomime is it's an annual tradition around the holidays.
Yeah.
It's a retelling usually of a fairy tale story or a story, correct?
Yeah, so you have sort of, we call them subjects or stories. So you have
Yeah.
Cinderella, Snow White, Peter Pan, Dick Whittington, which I'm not sure is a story over there, Jack and the Beanstalk, which is what I'm doing this year.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And Gordon, what role did you play last year? You and Max, I think you're in it was the Aladdin story, correct?
It was Aladdin, yes.
Yeah. So Gordon, what role did you get to play in that show?
I got to play the role of Gordon the monkey.
It was very original, and we so pantomime essentially operates with quite similar archetypes to harking back years and years and years to Commedia dell'arte, the Italian art form. It has sort of stock characters as sort of the comic, and in pantomime, the dame, which is the man who plays the mother figure, the woman. So I usually play the comic role, the sort of the silly one, usually lacking intelligence. But because I'm a speciality act, I get to bring a monkey along with me, and it's not often you change the name of a monkey.
And people say sometimes, hey, you were in Aladdin, weren't you? Aladdin's monkey.
And no, the answer is no.
No, because when it's in a pantomime, a traditional British pantomime, Aladdin is set in China, not Arabia. Yeah, interesting, eh?
Yeah.
It is very interesting. I have been educated by Gordon today, and I am appreciative of that, Gordon. I really am, Gordon. So,
You
Gordon,
can
I asked
learn a thing or
Granddad, I'm
two.
going to ask you, Gordon. Yeah, you're in this pandemic situation. What do you do and occupy your time?
Well, me personally, I'm just waiting for the shopping order to come in every week so I can eat the bananas.
Yeah. Yeah, because his favorite food is cheese on toast. Cheese on toast is his favorite food. So, yes, of course.
Glad we straightened that out. Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. Well, Gordon, it is a delight to have you here today, as always. And I just want to thank you for showing up. You are just a fabulous guy. And hopefully someday I see you on the side of the bus in New York City.
Thank you so much, Al. Well, hopefully you don't see me on the front of the bus. No, don't want to. Like that. Ugh, ugh.
Thank you very much, Gordon. Good deal.
See ya. See ya.
Well, Max, it's again, because we have kind of both a ventriloquist audience, a general audience today, a business audience. part of what is involved with show business is really presenting yourself, and you're very, very good at that. I want to put something up on the screen here. This is one of your publicity shots, and it is. Actually, this was I think my first introduction to you was seeing that photo.
Has been so worth it from the praise I've got from Al Gettler. I mean, it's been nonstop.
But I know, come on. It's I'll put it up there one more time then, just because you're being so sassy about it. But this was, you didn't necessarily plan months and months ahead of time for that, did you?
No, that was an idea I had the night before. I had it. I mean, I could say, yeah, I had this concept planned out. I'd made a mood board, but I hadn't. I had a suitcase packed, ready to go to this photo studio for the first sort of professional photo shoot I'd ever really done, really with a photographer I knew. And I thought, oh, I've got this sort of M with bulbs on it. That's quite nice. I could make the rest of my name, but how would I hold them all together? And then I thought, what could the object be? And I had those plungers lying around because they're funny to juggle. I'm not a juggler, but they're funny to juggle. Max Fulham confusing plumbers 24/7. Yes, I came up with that. We took the photo, and the result is incredible. I love that photo so much.
Well, I'm sure you're not the only one, and I'm not the only one. I think when someone's looking through, your portfolio, trying to figure out where to go next, that photo has got to grab it. In fact, I'm not going to say it was that photo, but something grabbed the producers of one of the biggest shows in the world right now on one of the top streaming networks in the world right now. Max Fulham, you are on this season's The Crown. It's just, I got to tell you, what a great resume headline.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And
tell us
a
about that
wonderful
experience.
excuse. It's a wonderful excuse to buy a magnifying glass as well to hold up to your TV screen. But it was an incredible experience. My first experience of being a sort of an extra on anything, and it came through a bizarre route, whereby I ended up waking up one morning as a 20-year-old, so at 10:30 a.m. And I had a message from someone saying, I work on The Crown, we need a ventriloquist. And that was surreal. And then I figured out how it had come about. And how it had come about is that Glenn, this man working on The Crown, had put out a call for ventriloquists because they were recreating a Raw Variety, the backstage atmosphere of a Raw Variety show, which is exciting to me anyway, because I love the history of stuff like that. I'm a bit of a nerd. And I think then he put out a call on his Facebook because, my goodness, social media is being used for big things like that now.
Yeah,
I mean, you get the Got Talent franchise across the world, using social media to find people they want on the show. So it really is now. But then someone tagged me in his post, someone who I didn't know knew who I was.
Wow.
And the most wonderful thing is that person is a puppeteer called Dave Chapman, who's worked on so many amazing things.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about Dave Chapman is that he played a bad ventriloquist on a children's TV show called The Slammer here in the UK, where variety acts were all in a prison and they have to perform for release. It was an excuse to put on a variety show, and it was my first taste of variety and sort of my generation's first taste of variety. He played a bad ventriloquist and was what inspired me, even though he was playing a bad ventriloquist.
Yeah.
In fact, I typed the word monkey puppet into Google and searched every website until I found the puppet that they were using, because I knew it was a stock toy puppet.
Yeah.
And that is what has become Gordon the Monkey, was my first Gordon.
Wow. And who constructed the current Gordon?
The current Gordon was made by Chris Kendall here in the UK.
Brilliant. Just
beautiful Muppet-style puppets. And the eyebrow mech is lovely.
Incredible. Good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So all this leads up to The Crown. The production itself, I mean, I'm assuming just amazing, right?
It's monstrous. I am struggling to convey the scale of this beast to you. It's such a huge operation. and they have money to chuck about. You know, they have money to play with. They can do whatever they want. They can do as much as they like. The amount of people involved, it was incredible. I had to travel to Elstree Studios, famous studios over here, one day before the filming for a costume fitting, which was hilarious because it was a costume fitting for The Crown. And then on the day, we were, you know, it took a day and we filmed that one bit. That was the one bit I was in. We didn't film any more than that. That was the one thing. And it took that whole day because it's such a huge operation. And the feeling when there's a whole team of people buzzing about, cameramen, so much a hive of activity, and you're actually hearing someone shout the words cut and action. It was, I mean, come on.
Let me ask you the big question. Did you get to keep your call sheet?
I did. I've got all the emails. Emails.
All right,
I got some sneaky behind the scenes pictures as well.
I understand. Well, I saw some of those, and we would both be remiss if we did not mention that the character you used that day was a character that was created by our good friend, Austin Phillips, a master master figure maker, master dummy maker. Yeah, great, and done on the classic style.
I knew there was no other puppet I could use for that because one. Of course I'm going to use that figure. Two, the era as well, because he can create such wonderful things in such a traditional style, whilst giving them the most wonderful 21st century twists. It was the perfect puppet. That puppet is a very significant one for me. It's a wonderful creation. Austin is a legend.
He is a legend at the age of 26. So there you go.
I know.
You know, you're both kind of working on legend there. That's pretty good. I think that we're going to be wrapping up soon, and I started taking you down a trail that I pulled away from, and I want to go back to for a second, because this is something that you know most people also don't think about when it comes to being an entertainer. And I'm going to resort to a second about something recent in the U.S. here. Not sure if Comedy Central is playing over on your systems in the UK, but Jeff Dunham, obviously world famous ventriloquist, just came out with a new Comedy Central special that he wrote and recorded in about a month's time in front of a very planned COVID safe audience. Didn't get a chance to perform it in front of other folks before he did it live. Huge chance. But where I'm going with this is you are constantly creating comedy, even in the confines of your home, and sharing it with the world. What inspires you? Where does the comedy come from? Is it spontaneous? Is it planned? Is it a mixture of both? Give folks an idea of what comedy is and how you make it happen.
That's such a good question. And I would say it is a mixture of both. It's so wonderful when it's spontaneous. It really is. And that's the stuff that, really tickles me. And it is all about creating what you want to see and what makes you laugh. But as you said with Jeff, the fact that he is, incredibly successful, but you can tell he's still got the creative drive because he is taking a risk. He is doing a show like that. That's not complacency. That's proper creative drive. And it was the same with me at the start of lockdown. I'll be quite honest. I didn't leave the house for a month and a half. I just stopped. Everything just shut down, complete shutdown. And then after that, I felt the need to entertain people. It's not because it's not an attention thing for me. It's because I crave entertaining people. I really want to make people laugh. And so I created a 6-episode series. And it's called Drivel Peddler. And I've just last night I think I finished at 4 a.m. I finished editing my 25-minute Christmas special. Which I've been filming writing and filming the past 2 weeks. It's been a huge project, bigger than I thought it was going to be.
All right, let me unpack that one just for a second, okay? Obviously, you didn't have ice skating extras and the church choir and all that stuff. I'm assuming every part in this Christmas special is played by you.
Yeah, it's it's me, it's the puppets, it's some talking objects. Our nativity goes disastrously wrong, unfortunately. I end up having to play Mary and Joseph. It's difficult. And the teaser I like to give for the Christmas special is I bought a snow machine. I invested.
Which, it inspires me to bring up the fog machine episode that you posted recently. And for those of you that, again, are not familiar with Max's work, is that on YouTube? Is the fog machine on YouTube?
I don't think it is. I think I might have to put it into something as well, because it made me laugh.
It's probably about a 1 minute video. But my God, it killed me. It just rolled over. I didn't know what was going to happen. And when I saw what happened, I won't ruin it for people and be a spoiler. But back to the snow machine and your Christmas special. When can we see the Max Fulham Christmas special?
It is going to be going out on the 21st of December. Time to be confirmed. But the 21st of December is when it's going to go out, because it has to be a Monday, because there is a feature called Poetry Monday, where I create a nonsense poem. It's all very silly, but it's all driven by that. I want it to be entertainment for adults that engages the kids too. It is fun for all the family, but without the adults going, this is a bit kiddie, isn't it? it's that vibe. It's that vibe.
So will you do me a huge favor? Are you going to do a sizzle reel for that one?
I will be editing some trailers. Yeah.
All right. So let's do this. Regardless of who I have on, we need to have you do a quick hit one day. Come back and promote it. We'll talk about it. We'll put it up here for a second. And I want to make sure that people see that and know the social media channels by which to hit it. And that's just brilliant.
Thank you.
I would say if there's anybody in this world that would create a Christmas special within the confines of your home, you're the guy I'm counting on. And by the way, your home, I have to say, mom and dad, right? Lovely taste. You just took me throughout the room trying to find a good Wi-Fi signal. And tell whoever's responsible, mom or dad or both. Wonderful.
My mom and dad are so tolerant.
And who else makes up the household? You're a brother, right?
I've got a younger brother who.
Does he think you're completely insane? Is that what he thinks?
Yeah, of course he does. I mean, have you seen the shirt I'm wearing? Of course he does. But yeah, I managed. He's done all of the original music for the Christmas special.
Has he really?
It's very exciting.
Oh, very cool. So we're seeing a family affair, but no appearance from mom or dad or anything you've done yet that I can remember.
No, their work is included though. So I'll let you in on this, guys. Okay. But when it does start snowing in the big musical number finale, just know that it is my mum up a ladder.
That sounds a little bit like an insult. Your mom is up a ladder, but I don't know what it means. But it sounds a little like she wears army boots, except not. So that's great. Well, Max Fulham, as always, just a complete delight having you here today. I think I could talk to you for hours, and it's just. But your comedic mind, just killer. Max, if someone wants to look you up, I know you have a Facebook page, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You have a YouTube channel. You have a website to go to?
Yes.
What is that?
It's www.maxfulham.co.uk. But if you stick .com on the end, I should have paid the subscription to redirect you to .co.uk, so it should be fine.
So we can find you, in other words. And
yeah,
that's good stuff. And what is the future now that we've got we've got a vaccine coming? Are you and the manager talking about the future? Is there anything you can kind of give us a little bit of a tip of the hand on?
I go into rehearsals for pantomime on Monday.
Wow.
Because the current situation in the UK is that we've just come out of lockdown. Today has been on lockdown day. But we've gone into a tier system where various areas of the country are put into different tiers. It's all wonderful. It's like a game. It's rubbish. Now, tier 2, briefly, would mean that we can stage the show. We can have a socially distanced theatre audience.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the area I'm doing panto in has been put into tier 3. However, that means we can still rehearse because it is work and we are only 5 of us in the cast.
Yep.
And after 2 weeks, when the tiers are reviewed, God, I'm boring myself. If it goes into tier 2, we can perform. If it stays in tier 3, we'll see what happens. We'll see what we can do. If we can delay the run, it's sort of it's creatives are doing what they can. They're pulling together to create what they can. It's been quite a life affirming period in the arts because we've been decimated. I don't know about the States, but
same thing.
The support from the government hasn't been the best. The arts does tend to be shunned because you can't track the creativity on a spreadsheet. It doesn't fit into neat boxes, so they don't understand it because that's all they know. So I think we're all just sort of muddling through. I've been very lucky. People have been less lucky than me, so I'm just really looking forward to getting into rehearsals again.
Well,
really.
Yeah, that's it's fun to get back. Well, we're gonna wrap things up. I'm gonna throw some comments up here. I wish again this person. I'd like to know.
Thank you, Facebook user. Thank you.
I know. I'd like to know who's loving me. You've got to give StreamYard the permission. Here's, as always, a compliment on your shirt, which happens on a daily basis. Sherry also added that your mother is Mother Nature, which I think is funny. And back to Ken, who I'm going to end on this comment. Max rocks, huge fan. I think we all are, Max, and I think it's great to see you have the success that you're having. I have no doubt when the vaccine hits and things start opening up, the career is just going to rocket and take off. So thrilled having you here today. Stick around. I'm going to put you backstage for a second, and I'm going to say goodbye to the audience so we can chat real quick. Thanks, Max.
Thank you, Al.
Take care. Well, what an incredible high energy, as you saw, amazing guy. And, it's the kind of guest I like bringing you here because obviously it touches my world a lot, but also you get to find out what it takes to be a performer or do things the way Max does them, which is just pure energy, pure bundled creativity. So I mentioned at the beginning, it's Great Britain Week. Tomorrow's guest is a sales expert. He is also from Great Britain. His name is Simon Hare. He is going to be here. If you are in sales, if you are in leadership and looking to find someone who's a sales influencer, Simon is just, not only is he just an expert at what he talks about when it comes to selling. I think Max Fulham, he might give Max a little run for the money. He's a very funny guy. So I ask you to join me tomorrow. We're going to be here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check a look at your listings, find out what time that is by you, and join me tomorrow here for Simon Hare. So with that, thank you all very much for being here today. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see you here tomorrow on Al Gettler Live. Thanks. Take care.